Howdy folks, something a little bit different today. I thought I would have a go at assembling my own watch. Now I didn't go and assemble the movement and all that stuff. Watchmaking is kind of a little bit of a hobby that I'm attempting to teach myself how to do. I did try to look for an apprenticeship or some sort of traineeship, but I was unable to. So the last few years, and if you look back a couple of years ago, I did put up a video of a couple of Vostok, or actually I think there was both of them, Vostok watches that I got running. They were mechanical, but I thought what I would do is go ahead and make my own. Now what I didn't want to invest too much money, and basically this was going to be something that I could potentially learn to learn on, basically. The reason I'm making this video, it's different to my amp repairs and things like that, is because I kind of, I went on eBay and I found some reputable dealers, and when the items arrived, well, nearly everything is faulty except for the stem. So I'm going to start off with the most obvious. If we look here at the crown, you can actually see paint chipped off on this black crown. Now I ordered what's called a PDV or PVD black case. I'm sure this is just painted on there, and it's probably going to chip and who knows what else. So that kind of sucks to start with. Having that crown like that out of the packet, little bit shit. If I caused that, I wouldn't be making this video. I wouldn't be complaining. The other thing I noticed, and I need to adjust the time here. Let's see if we can get in there. Now, if you look above the, excuse the fingerprints on here, because I really want you to see this if you already haven't. If we look above the A on the word automatic, you'll see some scratches. That scratch right there above the A, or kind of in between the A and the U, that's a scratch on the dial. That's not perfect either. So far we have scratches on the crown, scratch on the dial, and last but not least, the biggest problem I have is the seconds hand. You're wondering why this is not installed in the watch. That's because the seconds hand is missing the shaft that, whoops. Let me see if I can bring this up on the camera here. Now I've got this, I've got the seconds hands upside down, so the shaft should be facing upwards. It is not. The shaft doesn't exist. You'll notice there's a kink right there. Okay, this is brand new out of the bag. And I may point out, they just came in these Ziploc bags. Albeit they were bubble wrapped, but that is not the ideal way to send something so delicate and fragile. The other thing I want to point out is, and this is the reason it's not installed in the watch, is that there should be a shaft coming out of this part. I've got the dial is upside down right now because I want the shaft to be sticking up, but there isn't one there. It's just non-existent. There's a little stub there, but that's about it. So I've contacted the seller. I've mentioned these things to them. Haven't heard back from them yet. I've only just sent the message. But you know what? This is a nice little build and a good learning experience. The other thing I find not high quality, again, is the bezel here. Now I don't know if I can do this with one hand, but this feels like a children's toy. You know, it feels like something I'm winding up. It's an awful feeling bezel. It's not nice to use. Not that I use it often. I'm not a diver. But there's just too many things wrong here. Now, the only thing that's come good from this is the movement, which I bought off a local supplier, and it's an NH35. That works perfectly, although I've got this stem out right now. You can see it's extended. I haven't cut it down to size because I don't know what I'm going to be doing with this case yet, and I don't want to cut the movement stem and then find out that I've cut it too short. If it's too long, no worries, you can cut it down even further. But anyway, I thought I would, like I said, make this video of this and the problems. Now, I'm not saying that every time you do this you are going to have an issue. I'm not saying every eBay seller out there is going to be sending you faulty items. However, what I am going to say is this. If I was to be spending, and look, I've spent a total of $100 here, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm just going to use this case and all the bits and pieces to learn, to disassemble things, to reassemble them, to learn how to pop the bezel off, to learn how to pop the bezel insert off and reattach it, to learn how to pop out the crystal and pop it back in. And I don't care about the crystal gasket because this is basically a learning test piece. Self-learning. What I am going to be doing is when I get the hang of things and the finesse and some sort of knowledge on assembling watches you know, perfectly and beautifully, I am going to be purchasing a better movement, better case, and basically better equipment as well. And the reason for that is that, well, two reasons. One, I've been speaking with a local watchmaker who is interested in possibly hiring me for 1 to 2 days a week to be able to come over to his workplace and help with stuff. The other thing is I have enrolled in the watchmaking channel course. I've done the entry introduction, the free course when you make your account, and I'm going to be paying the money shortly and doing that, and I'm going to be buying the movement that he recommends to learn on. I think it's the what is it? I can't remember the name of the movement. I'll pop it down in the description below. But basically the reason why they suggest that is because it's a physically larger movement. It's a pocket watch movement, and it allows you to have a little bit more room when you're doing stuff. Look everyone, thanks for watching. This is kind of a new endeavor for me, something fun, something exciting. I'm hoping to learn some new skills. Don't worry, I'm still going to be playing with amplifiers and stuff like that, and I'm sure there'll be more coming soon. But basically, in the meantime, stay tuned for that. If you're looking at these watches in the background, don't worry about these pieces of junk. I mainly bought these for pretty much a couple of dollars from a local guy, mainly for things like the band and again, mucking around with them. It's a perfectly fine working watch. There's nothing wrong with it. This one's a friend of mine, and you know, there's others littered around the place that I'm working on. One I'm wearing now is a SKX007. This thing has had the NH36 movement put into it because I bought this off a friend about 6-7 months ago, and then it started to work faulty. He recently had it serviced. I think it received a hard knock somewhere. So the 7S26 movement had a service done, but it failed shortly after I bought it off him, which, you know, So there's a couple of marks here up around like that 9 o'clock position. You can see a mark on the crystal, and then at the 41 to 42 minute mark, you can see a mark, a scratch there on the bezel as well. So it basically just killed the movement. You know, and the guy who serviced it unfortunately ripped my friend off. I bought it off him thinking it'll work, but you know, I've spent more money on that. I also fitted, let me see if I can twist around here. I fitted a new crown and stem. Obviously, you have to do that when you change the movement over. And I took the day wheel, which is hidden under the hour hand right now. I took that day wheel off the 7S26 movement and I fitted it to the NH36 to get it working in here. So this has been working fine since. I've actually got this watch for sale. It's not that I hate it, but I don't really like it, and it's not for me. It's not my style. But anyway, that's what I'm wearing today. I've got a couple of other movements that I've got that I will be selling. I've got this this beautiful Seiko 5 with an original dial. The only thing different is it's got a new band on it, but this thing's lovely. I've had it running on the time grapher up here, which I use to time all the watches that I'm buying and selling. And it's kind of the actually it's not quite the railway time. Forgive me. The one that I will be selling as well. This one here. This is the railway time one. It's got a couple of little marks here. There's one there just under the 9 o'clock position on the bezel. You can see there. But otherwise, a great watch. But I will be selling it. 2 vintage Seiko 5s. I've got a an SNK 809 here. Another 7S26 movement that's broken. I'm looking at replacing the movement in this with a NH36. That would be a little bit more involved because the day and the date dial will be coming over. One, because I'll need the 4 o'clock position for the crown, so the day wheel lines up with the window here, and the NH36, the day wheel is actually positioned so the crown is at 3 o'clock and the day lines up with the date. So that needs to be changed. That's an easy job. The slightly more difficult one is the date, the 7 here, the date. On the NH36 you can get movements with the black wheel, but I'll just change both of these over. The date is a little bit more complicated because you need to undo some of the plates and spring plates on the movement on the top here to allow that to pop off and get access to it. So I'll be putting the NH36 movement in this watch too, and I'll probably record that process because it is a little bit involved, and it'll be a good little documentation for me. I may even go ahead and change a Hardlex crystal on this. Hardlex crystal is a bit of an oxymoron when it comes to Seikos. I find from personal experience they seem to be easily scratched. You can see right there in the center there's some marks. Up here there's some marks as well. And down here, right down the bottom, there's some marks too. And up the top here, near the 2 o'clock position, you can see some marks there. I bought this watch like this. This is a, this is broken, and it's got the 7S26 movement in there. I don't care about this movement. It's scrap to me, and pretty much, Seiko wants to charge anywhere between $300, $400, $500 to service these when you can get an NH36 movement for about $60 on eBay. So I don't see the point in bothering servicing it, and you might as well upgrade it to a better movement. Anyway, guys and girls, thanks for watching. I hope you're entertained by this new little endeavor of mine. I'm going to play around with this, and you may see some more watch videos. If that's something you enjoy, please remember to share, like, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next video.